I'm just hoping I'm dead before he shows up. I figure if the Antichrist shows up, I will be one of the first people he'll kill. And the reason being is because I'm an academic.
Artificial intelligence is advancing rapidly. Some fear it will be used by the Antichrist to control the world economy. From your lens, how realistic is that danger?
Okay, so artificial intelligence, there's three aspects to it. There's three things that control or regulate how artificial intelligence actually works. The first is the instruction set on the computer chips. And this is one of the reasons why NVIDIA stuff is so important and why even in our country, they're trying to control who they can sell it to and who they can't. But it's the instruction sets in the computer determine how it's going to actually judge the probabilities. So basically, the way artificial intelligence works is it looks all the data and then it states this occurs most likely here. And so it's more probable that this is the response that is due in this particular set of circumstances. Okay, so that's what it does. So the instruction set. The second one is how they program the software to determine those probabilities. So they can actually, for example, in the United States, they kind of got caught setting up the artificial intelligence to more heavily weigh liberal or leftist answers as opposed to conservative answers. So they got caught doing that. Okay, so they can actually modify the software. And then the last one is the actual data set. So they can actually program the thing to pay attention to certain data, ignore other data, or take the whole data set. And in the data, there can be all sorts of things that are false, et cetera. Because recently I actually looked up a thing on AI about a medical condition, which I knew a little bit about, and it actually gave me the wrong answer, which is an indicator that it's getting its information, it's wrong information. Okay, so what's that got to do with the Antichrist? What it basically comes down to is I do think that the Antichrist is going to use artificial intelligence because it's going to be impossible for him to keep track of everybody and everything that's kind of going on. And so it will advance to the point where he can use artificial intelligence in order to do two things. One is to manipulate people in what they understand and what they know that's coming over the internet. And then the second part about it is to monitor and keep track of people so that he can punish people, et cetera, and basically control the economies worldwide. So I do think that he will use that in some fashion, but I think that as it stands now, I don't think artificial intelligence quite at that level yet. I think it's going to take a little bit of while before he could pull something like that off, which is why I think that the Antichrist is a little ways down the road. I'm just hoping I'm dead before he shows up. I figure if the Antichrist shows up, I will be one of the first people he'll kill. And the reason being is because I'm an academic, an intellectual.
Okay.
I'm a priest, and I'm also an exorcist. So he's going to get 3 strikes. I'm going to be out pretty quick. I suppose then I would die a martyr, but there it is. But the point is that, so I think he will actually use it. I think this is also one of the reasons, because as I mentioned, you can program or tell the AI to show it, pay attention to certain things and not others. And this is why we're seeing certain diabolic answers that are coming from AI and that type of thing, because it's just a machine. It doesn't know what it's doing. It just is producing probabilities based upon what you put in. Even though it almost appears like it's human intelligence, that's still only what it's doing. I think that if people understand that a lot of the bad things that we're actually seeing or hearing from AI is the result of people's misuse of AI. So AI in and of itself is like the internet. It's like any other tool, but it can be used and manipulated for bad purposes, which I think we're going to see a lot more going forward in the future.
I heard some news that there are younger people right now talking to AI, and the artificial intelligence encouraged them to commit suicide, and they did it. And your experience, Father, is there any case that been possessed because of this kind of technology, Father?
We haven't seen it yet. It probably will come down the pipe eventually. We're going to see it. But I don't think it's usually the people that follow the AI and end up doing evil things, and then the demons get their foot in the door. We just haven't seen it yet. I think it's going to be much like with the internet. Even though a lot of bad stuff was happening on the internet, it took a little while for it to get to the point where we were seeing it kind of consistently. Like with pornography, we see a lot of people influenced as a result of it. I think it's going to be the same thing. It's going to take a little bit more time.